Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. This is Penn Engineering Online's admissions webinar, and we are so thrilled that so many of you have decided to join us today for this webinar. This is actually our first webinar of this application cycle. Our new application for this cycle opened up in December. So this is our first webinar for this series, and we're thrilled to be here. We're looking forward to helping all of you over the next few weeks as you work through the application. So we're really happy to be here. We're happy to be back. So welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jackie Panto. I am the admissions recruitment manager for Penn Engineering Online. And today we are going to be focusing on our online Master's of Science in Engineering and Data Science program. So because I can very rarely say that whole name over and over again, the short name is MSE-DS Online, and that's what you're going to hear us refer to the program as. So it's the MSE-DS Online Program. Today, we have a very special guest presenter with us today. We have Dr. Mayur Naik, and he is here, and he's very happy to be here. He is a fabulous professor, and he is excited to be here, and he is going to provide all of his insight and his knowledge about the program. The way we're going to structure the program, Dr. Naik is going to go through the whys of the program, why the MSE-DS Online Program, why the Penn program, what is it about our program that makes us stand out, what are our differences that make us stand out over other programs that are out there. Then he's going to review the program curriculum, talk a little bit about the courses that you have to take in the MSE-DS Online Program, and then what course options do you have, other courses that you can opt to take throughout the program. After that, he'll turn the presentation back over to me. I'm going to go through the course structure. I'll talk to you a little bit about how we've designed the program and the courses and what you can expect while you're taking a course. And then I'm going to jump into who qualifies to apply to the program, what the application looks like, what the application process is all about. I'll talk a little bit about the important dates and deadlines that you're going to have to keep in mind as you go through the application. And then I'm also going to talk about tuition, scholarship opportunities. And then last, if you might go through this webinar and feel, oh, maybe I don't quite meet the qualifications to apply, now what? What should I do? I'm going to talk about another option that you might want to pursue if you feel you're not 100% qualified to apply to our MSE-DS Online Program. So before we get started, I'm going to go through some housekeeping, like webinar housekeeping items with you. First, the webinar is being recorded, so there's no need to frantically take notes. If you forget something that we said, it's not a big deal. Probably within the next week, this webinar will be located on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and rewatch the webinar. In addition, all of our past webinars are housed there as well. So this is a fabulous resource as you're going through the fact-finding process of our program. When you're thinking about how do I build a great application, you might want to watch some of these past webinars as well as this one to give you some great ideas on how to tackle the application or answer some questions you have about the program. So that webinar file is a great resource. If you have questions throughout the webinar, you're going to be using our Q&A section within the Zoom toolbar. So you want to open that up. You're going to be typing your questions out in that function. And then we have our fabulous rest of the admissions team is behind the scenes, and they're going to be answering those questions. So they'll be typing answers back to you, but they're also going to save some questions to be answered live at the end of this webinar. We're going to save about 15 or 20 minutes at the end of the webinar. We will answer some questions live at the end. So regardless of which way we answer them, you want to make sure you're typing those questions in the Q&A function. The answers will either be typed back or we will answer them at the end of the webinar during our Q&A session. So I think we are all set to start. I am going to turn it over to Dr. Naik. Thank you so much for being here today. We are thrilled, and it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure today to be here with all of you. I'm Mayur Naik. I'm a professor in the Department of Computer and Information Science at the University of Pennsylvania. I obtained my PhD in computer science back in 2008 from Stanford University. After that, I spent 3 years in industry, in particular at Intel Research in beautiful Berkeley, California. And after that, I was a professor at Georgia Tech for 5 years before moving to the University of Pennsylvania in 2016, which is where I have been since. I regularly teach both on-campus and online courses. Um, these include the course on database and information systems, which is numbered 5500, and it happens to be one of the core courses in the MSE-DS Online Program. I also teach a course numbered 5470, which is software analysis, and it happens to be an open elective in the MSE-DS Online Program. And I'll be happy to delve deeper into each of these later today in this webinar. My research is at the intersection of the fields of programming languages and artificial intelligence. And I myself use data science heavily in my research. For example, you might have seen intelligent assistants today for programming, such as GitHub's Copilot, or more recently, OpenAI's ChatGPT. My research underlies the tools and techniques that enable intelligent assistants like these. With that, let's move on to learn why you should embark upon the MSE-DS online program. So first of all, this is a unique program where data is at the center as opposed to other programs in computer science where code is at the center. Why should we care about something that is so special about data? Well, data science is an essential foundation, whether it comes to making decisions or understanding certain observations or solving problems in virtually every field today. Whether you want to apply artificial intelligence techniques to a problem, or you want to build a computational model for understanding, say, a real-world phenomenon, or you want to process either structured or textual or image data, for all of these problems, data science is crucial. Now at Penn, we are experts in delivering an exceptional data science program because we have been at the forefront of this field for a very long time with our successful on-campus program. Penn has a vibrant campus with 12 different schools that motivate us to work on many cross-disciplinary topics, and these in turn have inspired this degree program that we are bringing to you now online. So this online program builds upon a tradition of excellence in data science, both in terms of research and training, and it extends it to the broader audience through this online offering. With that, let's move on now to understand what is so unique about an online degree from Penn. So I'd like to emphasize three aspects. The first is you will get to study under a world-renowned faculty. These are the same faculty who teach the on-campus degree program. And our faculty are active in cutting-edge research in data science. They also have active collaborations with Fortune 500 companies, which inspire us to keep our curriculum up to date and relevant to industry. And we also participate frequently in government and education policy matters. Secondly, the courses are asynchronous. They are fully online, and there are no required lectures. You are free to watch any lecture or do any assignment at your own pace, as long as they are within the boundaries of what is due at a certain point, so as to stay at the same pace as a broader cohort. And lastly, you can create your own flexible course schedule. You can take, for example, as little as 1 course a semester to as many as 4 courses. And you can take courses in the spring, the summer, and the fall. And you can adjust the pace as per the needs of your day job or other responsibilities, by switching between either taking classes full-time or part-time. With that, let's move on to understand the curriculum in more detail. So we have a unique curriculum that blends leading edge core courses in topics like machine learning and statistics, which are blended with a broader set of electives where you might have a deeper interest in delving into. And further, we also allow you to go even deeper into topics that interest you and where you might want more hands-on experience through, for example, a practicum. So let me go over each of these 3 categories in more detail. The first is our core courses. You have to choose 4 of them out of the 5 that are shown here. These happen to be some of our most popular courses on campus, and I teach the course titled Database and Information Systems. I'll talk a bit more about this course since I'm the most familiar with it, but I'll also touch up on the remaining courses. So in database systems, I've been teaching this course at different universities over close to 2 decades now. And in fact, in even that span of time, we have revised the curriculum many times and continue to do so as the field evolves. Nevertheless, there are some foundations that remain timeless. And so we begin this course with the study of something known as relational databases. As trends come and go, relational databases have remained surprisingly resilient. And in fact, the language for programming relational databases called SQL happens to be the most popular programming language of all time. And so much of this course focuses on how to set up and program relational databases. But it doesn't end there. We also talk about more modern data models, especially as the very nature of data has evolved over the years. For example, now we have a lot of data on the web, including images and video and unstructured text. And so we talk about something called NoSQL data models, which underlie document-oriented databases like MongoDB and graph-oriented databases like Neo4j. And these are databases that didn't exist a decade ago. And this exemplifies how our curriculum keeps in touch with the modern trends and needs of industry. The course doesn't end there. We even go deeper into the lower levels of the software stack, where you really understand how data is organized at the lower levels of a machine, so that if there's ever a need for you to improve the performance of your queries, then you actually are in a position to do so. So we teach you the techniques and the practical tools for optimizing queries, which in turn play a huge role in how quickly results are delivered to end users through, say, a web application. And finally, there's a fun group project to be done in teams of 4 with your fellow classmates, where you actually build an entire standalone database application with an interface for end users, whether it is for, say, hotel reservations or for understanding the spread of, say, a particular variant of COVID in a geographic area, or, for example, making predictions for the Soccer World Cup, and so on. And over the years, we have seen students showcase this sort of project to employers for internships and even full-time jobs. So I hope by going deep into this particular course, I've given you a sense of how we blend both foundations and theory with practical and cutting-edge aspects of data science. I'll talk very briefly about the other 3 core courses. While there's no machine learning in the course that I teach, 5500, 5450, on the other hand, lies at the intersection of databases and machine learning. So you work a lot more with, for example, Jupyter notebooks and building machine learning models to make statistical inferences from data. Okay. Going to the remaining 2 courses, 5410 and 5420, they go even further into machine learning and away from databases to understand more theoretical and conceptual aspects of machine learning models. And this entire breadth of core courses is really important when you are working with enormous amounts of data, yet want to make meaningful and reliable decisions based on them. So we cover the full span from the underlying theory of machine learning and databases to cutting edge and practical tools that you need to apply this theory. Moving on to technical electives, you can choose 4 out of an ever-growing list that you see here. These include topics like artificial intelligence, deep learning, natural language processing, computer vision, computer security, internet and web systems, and blockchains and cryptography. And we keep adding new courses. In particular, we expect to have data science for healthcare, which is emerging as a massive application area in recent times, but also engineering ethics and data visualization. I'll be happy to talk about any of these courses in the Q&A, but let me just briefly emphasize this essentially tells you how rich the variety of data we have today, that there are entire courses that focus on them. For example, natural language processing is all about dealing with unstructured free text data. And you might need to analyze such data in many different application areas. And so learning techniques from natural language processing will help you derive interesting conclusions from data that is in the form of free text. On the other hand, computer vision mainly deals with image and video data, which is as important as free text. And so you might be interested in one or the other, or even both of these, depending on the kinds of data you want to deal with in the real world. There are other aspects such as security and cryptography, which transcend the kinds of data one deals with, but also are equally important in terms of, for example, ensuring privacy and security of your data processing and machine learning models. Okay. And lastly, we have open electives, and you can choose 2 of them. One of the courses that I teach here is software analysis, where you learn about algorithms and tools for analyzing code in order to find bugs or to improve its performance or to test it better and so on. And this is yet another example where which concerns an orthogonal topic for, say, improving the reliability of the software that you will build for data science applications. There's also a practicum where you get to pick a particular area of your choice where you want to build a standalone data science application, and where we will assign you a faculty advisor to help you design and develop an end-to-end application in an area of your choice. With that, I will hand it back over to Jackie, and I'll hang around for questions.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I am going to just go over a little bit of what the course experience is like for our students that are in the MSE-DS Online Program. Like Dr. Naik said, everything is asynchronized. So there really are no, courses that you have to sign into at a particular time during the day. Everything is asynchronized. You work on everything at your own pace, on your own schedule, at your own time. So we do have all recorded lecture videos. They're all obviously professionally recorded, very well done here in the studio. And you can view those lecture videos at your leisure. You can, if you wanted to binge watch them all, you could certainly binge watch them all like Netflix. That's certainly not what we would recommend. But you definitely can kind of set up your own schedule as to when to view those lectures in terms of when you're working on your projects and your classwork and whatnot. So no required real-time sessions. There's lots of interaction as much as you want to get involved with. There's open ongoing discussion forums within the courses. You definitely need to stay within certain guidelines in terms of when things are due. So modules may be released, say, on a weekly or an every other week basis with a certain amount of work that needs to be done for that particular module. You just need to make sure you stay within your due dates, but you can work on those projects or those problems, or whatever work is due. You can work on it at your own time schedule within that week or 2-week period. Once you turn in all of that work, then the next module or the next chapters would be opened up for you to work on. And typically that's on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis. We also have teaching assistants. So I believe the ratio is 1 TA for about 20 students or 22 students. So we have lots of TAs in the program. They are very accessible. Our professors are accessible. Our professors have office hours, virtual office hours within a certain time frame, and as well as our TAs. Our TAs are answering questions all the time. They're getting back to students if you're having issue with certain problems or don't understand a concept or whatever the case may be. You can reach out to a teacher, a TA, a teacher's assistant. They will get back to you within a 24-hour period. So there's lots of ways lots of resources for assistance. There's lots of ways to stay involved. We have a very vibrant community of students who very, very, very often are speaking to one another, are helping one another. We have Slack channels, student Slack channels, which you can get involved with. We have Slack channels that might be by course name. We have Slack channels by geographic location. So our students are constantly involved with one another, reaching out to one another. There's a sense of camaraderie, study buddies, whatever you're looking for and however involved you want to be, it's there for you. So, and we provide all that when you become an accepted student. You get access to the Slack channels. You get access to LinkedIn groups as well. obviously access to professors, TAs, and whatnot. So lots of resources, lots of ways to get involved. It's not like other online programs. Not all online programs are the same. Ours happens to be a very vibrant and a very collaborative community. So if you need help, you certainly will have help. And if you'd like to give help, there's certainly opportunities for you to get involved and to help others as well. So it's really a very vibrant and collaborative course experience for sure. So next, I want to talk a little bit about who qualifies to apply to the MSE-DS online program. We do get a lot of questions about this as potential students are researching the program. We get a lot of questions like, hey, do you think I am a good fit for this program? And really, there's 3 areas to take a look at to determine if you truly qualify to apply to the program, and how successful would you be in the program, if you are a student in the program. So the first area, or the first bucket that we're going to call it for being qualified, if you have an undergraduate degree in computer science, then yes, by all means, apply to the MSE-DS online program. This program does require that sort of computer science background, that quantitative background. You're going to need all of that for the MSE-DS online program. So if you have an undergraduate degree in computer science, yes, then you do qualify to apply to this program. If you have if you've taken at least, let's say you have a minor in computer science, or you have at least four credit computer science courses. Okay, so these are courses that are on a transcript with a grade. We're giving examples of what those courses could be. If you had a programming course, if you had a discrete math course, a hardware course, a data structures course, or some other foundational computer science course, and you would probably need at least 4 of these, which usually equates to a minor, then yes, you probably then have the background and enough of that skill set that would help you in the program, and definitely apply then to the MSE-DS online program. Now, maybe you're a potential student who doesn't necessarily have that computer science, but you have an undergraduate degree in a highly quantitative field, such as engineering, statistics, some other math degree, physics, and you're also working in the industry. So maybe you have 2+ years of work experience as a data scientist or a software engineer, or something along those lines, or something with that quantitative and coding experience, then yes, you probably have the background and the skills needed to be successful in this program as a sort of a groundwork. Then yeah, I would say apply to the program. So you want to determine if you fall into one of these 3 areas before you apply. And then by all means, if you fit into one of these three buckets, or these 3 areas, then I would say that you were all set to apply to the program. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about the actual admissions process and the application details. When you're ready, you're going to start your application. The application consists of several different elements. There's a resume, personal statement that you need to provide, college transcripts, letters of recommendation, and there is a $90 application fee. The GRE is optional, and the TOEFL is only needed if applicable. So as far as the resume, a lot of people think, oh, this is the easiest element. I've just went through a job search. I have an updated resume. What you want to do is you want to look at your resume, and you want to say, okay, is my resume designed in such a way that shows I'm a great candidate for the MSE-DS online program? So for instance, maybe you didn't have a major, a computer science major, maybe you had a minor in computer science. So maybe what you want to do is have a little section on your resume that identifies those computer science courses, because the major isn't going to be screaming on your transcript. So you might want to have a section that identifies those CS courses. So you want to make sure you're designing your resume in such a way that shows you're a great candidate for this program. As far as the personal statement, and again, all of these elements are in our website. If you go to our website under MSE-DS and you go to the application or admissions, All of this is identified. You can click on them and it gives you detailed instructions on what we're looking for each of these elements. And we also have an application checklist. You can print out that application checklist if it's something you want to physically have in your hands. There's a PDF version of it, and it identifies all of this there. But the personal statement is a great way for you. Think of it as an interview with the admissions committee. Okay, so it's the way we don't do interviews, we don't conduct interviews, but a personal statement is a great way for the admissions committee to get to know who you are. There's specific questions that you need to answer, and you want to make sure you answer every question that we're showing on the app, that we're asking you on the application. You want to hit every one of those questions in the personal statement. You may also there might be additional things that you want to put in the personal statement. Perhaps you had a semester in your undergrad that wasn't as strong as other semesters, and there was a reason for it. Let us know that. Let the admissions committee know if there was something that, is a little bump in the road, then talk about the bump of the road if there's a reason for it. So again, your personal statement is a great way for us, or for the admissions team, or for the decision committee to learn who you are. It's a great way to talk about anything at all that we need to know if again, there were bumps in the road. And this is the area where you really want to show what your goals are about the program, what you intend to get out of it, what you intend to give back, and really looking for that true passion for the program to come through in a personal statement. Now, college transcripts. There is no need to send official college transcripts. At the application stage, we only need unofficial documents. So if you have a transcript, a PDF copy of your transcript, that's what you need to be uploading in the application. The thing to remember is we need transcripts for every school that you've attended, every course you've taken, every grade you've received. So if you started out at one college and then transferred to another school and transferred again, and you have what we call transfer credits, we need to see the transcripts from every school you attended so that we can see the grades in all of those courses. So please be sure to upload all transcripts for all colleges and universities attended. I'm going to skip to letters of recommendation. This is obviously another very important element of your application, but it's the only element of the application that is really somewhat out of your control. Okay, you will, in the application, you'll give the contact information for your recommenders, name, email address, whatever. An automatic email gets generated to them requesting this letter of recommendation on your behalf. But they are then responsible for writing it and submitting it. And the letters of recommendation must be received by due date. So if you're applying for the early application round, if you look on the other side of our screen, you can see that that due date is March 1st, which means your letter of recommendations are due by March 1st. So this is a little out of your control. You're counting on your recommenders to get these recommendations in on time. So what we would say, even though we only need 2 recommendations to read your application, I strongly urge you to solicit for 3. You want to ask for 3 recommendations. This way, if one of your recommenders is late and misses deadline, you have a safety net, and hopefully the other 2 are on time. So I would say to seek 3 letters of recommendation. As long as we receive 2, then we will read your application and review your application. Now, the GRE is optional. You do not need to submit a GRE score. Some applicants will submit a GRE score if they really want to show their academic ability. Maybe they had a few weak grades on their transcript, so they'll take the GRE, hopefully score high in that quant to kind of show proof of their academic ability or their quantitative ability. So the GRE is optional. It's definitely up to the applicant. It doesn't matter to us whether you submit a GRE or not submit a GRE. Again, applicants who are either trying to boost quantitative or boost their academic skills would then submit a GRE score. The TOEFL is only applicable if you're not a U.S. citizen or U.S. permanent resident, and your courses were taken internationally, at a school that's outside the United States, you would be required to submit a TOEFL. However, you can apply within the application a TOEFL waiver if the university or college you attended, if the medium of instruction was English, all the courses were taught in English, then right in the application for admission, you can apply for a TOEFL waiver. So if you took your courses in English at a university abroad outside the United States, you can apply for the TOEFL waiver. Okay, so those are the elements of the application. You can start your application at any time and then go back to it to work on the personal statement, submit the personal statement. So you can start your application, start and stop it. You can review the status of your application. Once you submit it, you can go back in and take a look at your status page to see if your recommenders submitted their letters of recommendation. You can remind the recommenders again to submit their letters of recommendation. So there is a application portal where you can go in and always see the status of your application as well. Just one point on transcripts. If you are accepted to the program, at that point, you do need to provide official transcripts. So official transcripts must be provided if you are accepted to the program. You can't proceed with the program without those official documents. So we will need official transcripts once you're accepted, and accepted students, once you're accepted, then we provide the instructions on what we're looking for and how to go about it. But at the application stage, it's only unofficial transcripts. Now let's talk about the application deadlines on the other side of the screen. We do have 2 application cycles. We have an early application round, excuse me, and a regular application round. So the early round, the deadline is March 1st, like I mentioned. We're also going to talk about a scholarship opportunity in a little bit. The scholarship, if you're interested in the Dean's Master Scholarship, it is only available for the early application cycle. So that application, the Dean's Master Scholarship application, is within the regular application, and it's due March 1st. It's due for early round. So keep that in mind as you're going through. If you're looking and interested in the scholarship, then that's due March 1st. So you must apply to early round. If you apply for March 1st, your decisions will be all returned on the same day, April 17th. And then we return scholarship decisions on April 27th is what the date that we're showing right now. If you're looking for regular decision deadlines, if you're going to apply for our regular cycle, the deadline is May 2nd, so you have more time. And then our decisions will be returned all on June 15th. Deposits are due on July 14th. And then our classes start in August. And I failed to mention, if you're doing the early round, our deposits are due on May 17th for admitted students there. And this is all on our website, so don't worry about it. It's all clearly identified on the website. So I just wanted to talk briefly about tuition and scholarship. Our tuition is based on course units. So there's 10 courses as you were told, 10 courses in the MSE-DS Online Program. So our total tuition per course unit is $3,200 per course unit, or $32,000, but you only pay per course unit. So if you register for one course, you only pay for one course. So if you're looking to spread out your finances, you certainly can do that by taking 1 or 2 courses at a time, and you can spread your finances over 7 years. We do allow you 7 years to complete the program. There are some tech fees involved and additional fees. Those fees, though, only amount to $144 per course unit. So you'd have to add that onto the tuition as well. And again, you're only paying for what you register for. There's definitely, if you go on our page for tuition, it'll explain how you can reach, there's payment schedule options and different options for admitted students. So you want to make sure you check that out. Now, I did mention the Dean's Master Scholarship. That is definitely a great avenue if you're looking to try to offset some of your tuition. I just want to point out, this is available to U.S. citizens and U.S. permanent residents only. So if you're a U.S. citizen and U.S. permanent resident, I would definitely check out this opportunity. What you have to do, this is not based on merit. It's based on answering 2 questions that are on the application or on our website. So you can go on and take a look at those questions. This is definitely more of a need-based scholarship. Okay. And again, it's only offered for our early application decision cycle. And then I also wanted to talk about, let's say now you've heard everything and you've heard like who qualifies to apply for the MSE-DS online program. And you're thinking, well, maybe I don't quite fit into this program. Maybe I don't have, I don't have an undergraduate degree in computer science, and I don't have enough computer science or quantitative coursework. What should I do? We do have a program called our MSE-IT Online Program. This is a program that's designed for students who have no computer science skills to very little computer science skills. And it's the same sort of a program and structure that it's 10 course units, 6 core courses, 4 electives. So one of the things that you can do is you can apply to the MSE-IT program. And then if accepted, while you're a student in that program, you can apply for the MSE-DS online program as a dual degree option. So we have a dual degree program where you can do the MSE-IT program first, complete that program, and then roll right into the MSE-DS online program. So you would complete 10 courses in MSE-IT, and then 4 courses from MSE-IT could transfer into MSE-DS online. And then you would only need 6 more courses to complete MSE-DS online. And then you would actually then have 2 degrees. You'd graduate from MSE-IT online first with that degree, and then matriculate into MSE-DS online. You'd only need 6 more courses if the 4 transfer in, and then you would graduate later on with the MSE-DS online degree. So there is an option if you don't quite fit into MSE-DS right now. There is an option to start with MSE-IT and then apply to the dual degree once you're in MSE-IT. Okay, so that would be your option if you feel you don't quite fit into MSE-DS right now at this point, at this stage of the game. So we have given you a ton of information. I am going to take a look. We can go into a Q&A and see if we have some questions here. Just gonna give me a minute here. I'm gonna log in and see what questions we have, if any here. Looks like we've had a lot of questions answered throughout the webinar, which is great. But I do have a question here, and maybe this would be a great question for you, Dr. Naik. It says, how does this program prepare students for job opportunities in data engineering?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as I said, we are continually revising our curriculum to meet the needs of the industry. As you can imagine, data science is itself a fast evolving field. And so we have to keep up with the trends. But that said, this is not a vocational training program or a certificate degree or a nano degree. We want to teach you the foundations and prepare you to adapt well after you have finished this degree as the trends continue to evolve. So in that sense, it combines both things that are immediately relevant to today's jobs, but also the skills that are needed to help you adapt and evolve over time. And lastly, we also not only talk about core courses, but we also cover a broad range of electives. And that again goes to my point about helping you prepare for a future which even we cannot predict. Courses that might not be in fashion today, for example, as linear algebra was many decades ago, but now is at the center of machine learning. In the same sense, we offer a broad set of electives that might be somewhat specialized today, but could become very relevant in general or even in your specific case.
Excellent. And we have another question that is somewhat along those lines, actually. It says, would you say the overall course material has sufficient focus on theory that those of us with a few years of industry experience and data science role will still find it enriching?
Yes, again, a great question. Penn Computer and Information Science, in particular, has a rich tradition of seeking a balance between theory and practice, as opposed to, for example, programs which might go off the far end in either of these two directions, so being more very theoretical and abstract on one hand, or being very practical and less fundamental on the other, right? So we make sure that we cater to both kinds of students, those who come from a more practical background, but now want to understand the underlying fundamentals, so that as the practical tools change over time, they can still keep up with them. On the other hand, students who have a more mathematical or theoretical background will also find our curriculum very refreshing to see these abstract concepts come to life and have an impact in the real world.
Excellent. And then our third question, and this is also for you. It says, what are some, and this might be a tough one because it's a brand new cohort, the MSE-DS cohort's this is the first semester, but it says, what are some of the challenges you've encountered or seen students encounter during the teaching of the first MSE-DS cohort? So we might have to speak a little more in general with that, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I have experience, ample experience, in fact, with both MCIT, where students come from very diverse backgrounds, but also our MSE-DS on campus, where we teach students from different majors. In particular, my course on database and information systems is perhaps one of the most diverse courses in terms of the majors of students on campus, including from the arts and sciences, business, economics, finance, medicine and healthcare, and so on. So we are well aware of how to teach in a classroom with students who might not be uniformly trained, or might even have very different ways of picking up skills. So our courses actually are designed to handle a diverse population, as long as a baseline foundation is met, which is the job of the admissions committee. And furthermore, there's a lot of special attention, both from our teaching assistants, but also from the faculty themselves. So any student who is struggling with specific topics has the opportunity to interact and get help from various resources.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of resources out there for assistance, that's for sure, and for help. It looks like the next question is probably more of an admissions question, but please feel free to jump in at any time. It says, which Penn degree would be a better fit for me if I don't have computer science degree? Do you want to take that? Or do you want me to? If you don't have a computer science degree, which program would be a better fit?
Jackie, it might be nicer.
Yeah, I'll do the admission. It's probably better for an admissions question. If you are not, one of the things that's great about both of the programs, but if you don't have a computer science degree, it may be better for someone like that to start with our MCIT program, because that program is really going to give you all of that, the foundation and the core of computer science that you would then need for MSE-DS. So I would say this candidate would be a great, or this person would be a great candidate for our MCIT program, in hopes to do the dual degree program, where they can then, apply to the dual degree program, and then matriculate into that program. So again, the way that works, you apply to MCIT, you start that program, You can then apply to the dual degree program or the MSE-DS online program through the dual degree. If accepted into that program, then the student can finish the MCIT program. You can finish the MCIT program, graduate with that, and then you can matriculate into the MSE-DS online program, transferring in 4 MCIT courses. You'd only have 6 courses left for the MSE-DS online program. But initially, you would be applying to the MCIT online program, and if accepted, you would work with your advisor. Your advisor would work with you to prepare you for that dual degree if that's the route you want to go. So I think that definitely would be a better route there without that computer science degree. The next question, how does MCIT prepare me for MSE-DS? And that's pretty much what I just said. The MCIT program, those core courses, the program is designed for individuals that have no computer science background. So the program very quickly gets individuals up to speed on computer science. So if you take a look at a traditional Master's of Science in Computer Science, there's 4 core courses in a traditional Master's of Science program. Our MCIT program, it's 6 core courses because you need more time to get caught up with that good, solid computer science foundation. So the MCIT program is giving you that great that great building block, that great foundation of computer science courses and computer science knowledge and skill set that you need then to continue on and what you would need to be, you know, an excellent student in our MSE-DS online program. So it really does give you that good solid foundation. So I'm just going to check. It looks like that might be it for questions. I know I saw an earlier question about timing of programs. I know we went through it in the beginning, but you do have the option of choosing 1 course per semester or up to 4 courses per semester. We actually, in our MCIT online program, we have a Slack group that's called the Turtles, and they're taking 1 course at a time. So they all stick together and they have a Slack channel called the Turtle Group. So I'm assuming the same thing is happening in the MSE-DS online program as well, where we have a group of students taking 1 course at a time, and that's perfectly fine. Again, a lot of our students are working professionals, or they have families, or they have a lot going on. So 1 course may be the magic answer for them. Then we have other students that want to move through pretty quickly, and they're taking that 3 or 4 or that full-time load. So really, that's the beauty and that's the benefit of a Penn online degree, is that you really can kind of design that custom schedule fit to your needs, depending on what else is going on in your life. So I did see that question come through as well. I do not see any other questions. So I think we can probably just wrap it up and grab a few minutes of our extra minutes for our day. So let me just explain a little bit about what's going to happen now after this webinar. After you leave us today, if I'm sure you might have more questions. And the first place that I would look, if I were a potential applicant or an applicant, I would look over our FAQ database. If you go to our website, and go into the search bar and type in a question. We have a wonderful FAQ database with tons of questions and answers, and I would start there. So that's a great starting ground. We have a great website, so definitely use that as a resource. We have private admission advising appointments, so you can meet with the admissions team. We offer, I think there's 4 days a week that we have advising appointments: Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and we even have some Saturday morning hours as we get close to deadline. So please go on our website, sign up for office hours. They're in 15-minute time slots. We love meeting with our applicants, and we're happy to help you every step of the way. So that's definitely an option. Another way to reach us is through email. That's our email address there. We work really hard at trying to get back to everybody within 24 hours. There's at least 2 of us at all time monitoring those emails that come in. It's a great way to get in touch with us. We also have, which I should have put on here, and I'm not sure why I didn't, but we have lots of events like this. So we have, like I mentioned earlier, this is our very first webinar of the admissions cycle. We are going to have a webinar series, January 30th through February 3rd. Every single day that week, there will be a webinar. and the webinar is made up of current students. So this is something you don't want to miss. We have 2 to 3 students for every webinar that are going to talk to you about their experiences in the program. On Monday, we're going to feature our women in tech, so our women that are in the program. On Tuesday, we're going to feature our international students. So on Tuesday, the 31st of January is a webinar featuring our international students and their experiences in our Penn Engineering online programs. On Wednesday evening, we're going to feature, this is Wednesday, February 1st, we're going to feature our busy lifestyle students. So these are students with families and they're working and they're juggling their career and this program and families and everything else in between. So they're very busy lifestyle students and they're going to talk about their experiences. On Thursday, February 2nd, we have our students of color. They're going to be talking about their experiences, their support, their challenges, everything that go with it. And then on Friday, we have our returning learners. So Friday, February 3rd, we have returning learners. These are students who, before this program or before our Penn Engineering Online Program, they hadn't studied in a while. They hadn't been in a classroom in a while. They graduated from undergrad or another master's degree a while ago, and it has been a very long time. There was a gap between education. So they've overcome their any kind of hesitation and they're back in the classroom again. So if this sounds like you and you want to hear from them and their challenges and what support they have, that would be on Friday, February 3rd. So go to our website, go to events. You can see this webinar series as well as our coffee chats. We have several coffee chats throughout the application cycle and other webinars as well. So that's a great way, great resource for you to learn about our programs, the admissions cycle, and to meet students and to meet other members of our student affairs team and our admissions team. So we have given you a ton of information today. We thank you for joining us. We're so happy to be back doing our webinars. Dr. Naik, thank you so much for being here. You were wonderful and gave the applicants such wonderful information. We appreciate all of your insight, and I wish everybody a fabulous weekend. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.